Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Warriors Fastbreak here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thanks for joining us here today. We'll start off by talking men's basketball with head coach Todd Eisner, and thank you for being here today.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it was a difficult weekend for you. Let's just dive into the Augustana game. Very good opponent that you faced. Tell us a little bit about that game and what happened during the game.
You know, we started out okay. We got to the first media timeout, which I think was at about the 14-minute mark, and we were down 15-11. And their strength is they've got a lot of size, and that's not our strength. And so we were concerned about that going into the game, and handled the first 6 minutes okay, and then things got away from us. We ended up getting outscored 17-0 after that break, and next thing you know, it's 32-11, and really, to be honest, we really never recovered from it. We made a couple of rallies, throughout the game to get it to 12 or 13 points, but at the end of the day, we never really threatened them. Just a bad matchup for us. They played at a high level on both ends of the floor. I thought defensively, it's the best I've seen an Augustana team play since I've been here, in particular in the first half, and really took us out of the things that we wanted to try to get done. And then offensively, they've got a lot of weapons, and we didn't take very many of those weapons away.
So what are some of the lessons that you can take away from that game that maybe you'd be able to use down the road and point to this game and say, look, if we want to be at this level, this is what we have to do?
Well, at the end of the day, that was an eye-opening game for us. We met as a coaching staff after the game, and I didn't think we matched up very well. And their size on the front line was really bothersome. They've got two guys that they rotate at the 5 that did a lot of things that we weren't able to take away. Cartwright on the perimeter is a very talented perimeter player, but I thought at the 1 and the 2 in particular, we did a really nice job of taking away Matt Todd's strengths and taking away Cartwright's strengths. But we've got to do a better job 15 feet and in of defending the dribble, defending post-ups, not letting people score near the rim as easily as we have.
Okay. And then let's talk about, Alec Rosner was your leading scorer in that game, 17 points. So that has to be a positive that he's able to be a leading scorer on your team.
Yeah, Alec had a really good weekend for us. We've been really pleased with his development. He was a role player for us last year, started a little bit when Mason was hurt for a couple of games. Comes from a great high school program in Kimberly High School over in the eastern part of the state of Wisconsin, and has been taught very well. A really good all-around athlete, was a quarterback on a state championship football team at Kimberly, and really made great strides in the off-season in terms of just improving really all aspects of his game. And so in some ways we're not surprised to see him producing, but it's still been pleasantly surprised at the jump he's made from year 1 to year 2.
Okay, so then we move on to Wayne State. Tell us a little bit about that. That was a little bit closer game.
Yeah, a little bit like the Upper Iowa game. The last couple minutes of both halves really cost us, and played very well out to start the game. Wayne State jumped us a little bit early at the first media timeout, and then we really took control of the game for the rest of the half. We were up 30-21 with a little over a minute and a half left to go in the first half, and they outscored us 6-0 and really took some momentum from us there. We just, again, very similar to Upper Iowa, got outscored late to close out the half. Gave Upper Iowa some momentum here a week ago to go up 10. Here they closed a 9-point lead to 3. Then Wayne State came out in the second half and never really took control of the game, but we never really grabbed control of the game back. And took a lead on a 3 by Kevion, I think with about 3.5 minutes to go, 62-61. And then again, very similar to the Upper Iowa game, in that we didn't close it out defensively. We got outscored 9-1 to finish the game. Had some really bad possessions offensively where we didn't really execute in detail what we needed to do to get a great shot and force some shots. And then Jansen really took over the game in the second half, and he was the factor in the last 3 minutes. We didn't get any stops there.
All right. Tell me a little bit about your bench, because it seems like it's the main 3 or 4 of the starters are doing most of the scoring. Got to get the bench in there.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about.
Yeah, it's been a concern. It's a factor. We're playing about 9 guys right now, and so it's a little bit of chicken and the egg. And I think they feel the same way. I mean, I think they feel like if they played more minutes, they could produce more. And then as the coach, I sit there and say, in the minutes that you have, you need to produce more to get more minutes.
Right.
And so the guys, Luke Martins has given us very good minutes off the bench. Unfair to Luke just because of our lack of depth right now on the front line. I mean, he's a 6'3", 6'4", 195-pound 3-4, and he's really playing 4-5 for us. It's not fair to him. He's getting matched up. I mean, he's going to be matched up on Friday against a 7-footer against Mankato. I mean, it's just not normal. It's not right. That being said, he will not back down. I mean, he's one of our toughest guys on the team. He's a fighter. But at the end of the day, 7 foot versus 6'4" is still not a great matchup for you. So, so Luke's been productive. He shot it decent Saturday at Wayne State, which was good to see. He's made his post-ups and layups when we give him those opportunities, and he really doesn't try to do too much on the offensive end, and then defensively has tremendous fight. The rest of the guys have really struggled to produce, really at both ends of the floor. And and so I don't really have a great answer for that. If you're going to shoot 20% from the floor, it's hard to justify giving you a lot of shot opportunities. And then more importantly, I'll live with 20% from the floor if we're doing a great job defensively. But we've really seen some let up in our production when we've gone to our bench a little bit, and so we've got to get that cleaned up. And the problem is in the NSIC, when you play back-to-back nights, if you're going to be good, you need depth. It's just hard to ask Kevion and Caleb and Alec, I think right now, who are playing the most minutes for us. They're playing 34, 35 minutes a night, and that's going to, we'll pay for that in February if that's the way we keep going.
All right, we got about 2 minutes left in this segment, so you're back home finally this weekend against Minnesota State in Concordia. What does practice look like this week to get ready for those games?
Yeah, it's a hard week to get ready for this because we're in final exams. So, that's the number one priority for our guys is finishing off the semester really strong academically. And so we certainly talked to them about it right after the game at Wayne State, reminded them about it as we got home at 1:30 in the morning, and I know none of them listened to me at that time because they had slept the whole way. Hit them up again this morning in a group chat, just reminding them that it was really important to finish the semester strongly. So because of that, we'll certainly have some condensed and shortened practices in the windows that we can get them at. And so we'll go later today and tomorrow, and then we actually have a 2-hour window, 10:30 to 12:30 on Thursday and Friday, along with the fact that McCown's not available to us because they have to set up for graduation. So a lot of different pieces that we have to manipulate and work around, and yet we still got to get better. And because Mankato is very good and picked to win the South and have a lot of size, very similar to Augustana, that we're going to have to match up with.
All right, very good. Well, we'll take a break here on Warriors Fast Break, and when we come back, TJ Lake will join us right after this.
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
Getting the right look at the right price
Perfect.
is always in style at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.
Describe the best thing you ever ate.
It's good.
Woo! Dynamite. Yes.
Hashtag worth it.
Ridiculous.
OMG, OMG.
Whoa, wham.
What? That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, boom.
All new. The best thing I ever ate. Monday at 9.
You're gonna need sweatpants.
Cooking Channel. Stay hungry.
And welcome back to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25, brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. TJ Lake joins us again. Thanks for being here again.
Thanks for having me, Justin.
We'll try to get to some of the things maybe we didn't get to the first time that you were on the show last year. I want to talk about your playing days, first of all, especially Dubuque, because your senior season, you led the Iowa Conference in scoring, 23.4 points per game. But what I want to hear about is a 50-point game that you had against Loras College. I don't know if you remember any details of that, but kind of tell us a little bit about that game.
Yeah, I had a pretty good game. Shot the ball pretty well. Went to the free throw line. When you shoot 18 free throws in a game, that helps get the points up. But I had a lot of teammates that allowed me to shoot a lot and were looking for me. It's just unfortunate we couldn't come out of that game with a win.
All right, and then you also had 7 games where you scored over 30 points. What was it about your senior year that you finally put it all together and had that kind of a season?
Yeah, I had a good senior year scoring the ball. Probably didn't finish with the record and the team goals that we wanted to accomplish. I made a lot of good friends while I was at the University of Dubuque, and still keep in contact with a couple of them that are still playing there today. And I enjoy kind of keep following those guys along.
All right, so where was it along in your career that you decided, hey, I want to get into coaching, I want to see what happens there?
Yeah, I think from an early age, I always wanted to be a coach. My high school coach, Dennis Garrity, he was a big kind of inspiration for me to want to get into coaching just by the stories and all the stuff he would tell us, and he was just a big inspiration for me to work hard at the game, and then eventually now I'm on the other side of it, and I enjoy it so far and want to keep it going.
All right, year 2 as the graduate assistant, what's different this year than maybe some of your duties or some of the things that you did last year?
Yeah, I think this year I feel a lot more comfortable with the coaching staff and just with the players too. And year 2, it's kind of a lot easier just knowing what to expect, and it's a lot different than playing. I'm starting to see some of the things where coaches would tell me that I, maybe didn't believe at that time, but now it's like, oh, that's what they meant and stuff like that. So it's definitely been a lot easier this year, and I think this year I'm trying to do a much better job of just like preparing for our opponents and just kind of knowing what they run. And it hasn't happened yet, but maybe there's something where, and me and Coach have talked about this too, and something I see that could help us win a game that could probably add value to what we're doing.
All right. Yeah. So from your standpoint, what's different in year 2 with your graduate assistant?
I just think you see a lot of growth in TJ. TJ's a worker, which is obviously you got to be when you're a graduate assistant. You get dumped on with any and every responsibility that we have each and every day. Unfortunately at our level, a lot of TJ's responsibilities are almost like a managerial responsibility, and yet one of the things TJ and I talked about in this offseason is we wanted to see him expand his responsibility as a coach. And so I know TJ's got a really good knowledge of the game. So we want him to impart that knowledge on our guys, especially our perimeter players. But whatever TJ sees, if there's something that he can help Andrea with or Kevion with, we want him to work with our guys individually. We want him to be a voice during practice and even, as he mentioned, during games. And so we just want to continue to see him grow in the profession and continue to work extremely hard, which he's done, and give himself an opportunity to impact our program in a positive way.
All right, half joking but half not. This is the big week for you because it's Minnesota State and you played 2 years in Mankato. Is there anything, any secrets or anything that you can kind of tell us about what's going to happen this weekend?
I'll leave that stuff for off air. I'm pretty familiar with the program though, being there for 3 years and playing 2 there. So I know kind of what they do and how they like to do things there. So that's definitely helpful going into this week, and it'll be nice. I still have a teammate of mine who, he's the last one. He's still playing there, so it'll be good to see a familiar face. All
right, last minute that we have here. If there are any players out there that are watching that want to get into the kind of role that you're into, any advice on what to expect and maybe what not to expect?
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of like managerial duties, like Coach said too. So you just kind of got to pay your dues, and I'm just trying to learn a lot too, and just trying to be a sponge and absorb it all.
All right, very good. Well, thank you for being here today, and good luck this weekend, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks for being here for this part of Warriors Fast Break. We're going to take a break, and we'll switch to women's basketball. It's right after this.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. Getting the right look at the right price.
Perfect.
Is always in style. At Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-60.
Coming in December.
When you step on stage, you play for them and for you.
Exclusive unprecedented access to the #1 solo artist in history.
Mom was the dreamer, and Dad was saying, if you're really going to make it happen, it's going to take a lot of work.
See Garth Brooks like never before.
Sometimes your most driving forces aren't your greatest memories.
In the documentary event of the year.
There's nothing I enjoy more than playing music.
Garth Brooks, The Road I'm On, December 2nd at 9 on A&E.
And welcome back to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. We'll talk women's basketball now with head coach Scott Ballard, and 2 road wins this weekend. Pretty impressive.
It was 2 big challenges on the road against 2 quality teams that play a different style of basketball. And I told you last week, so far we've been playing to the level of our competition and hope that continues. And fortunately, it did this weekend. We played really, really well defensively against Augie on Friday night and built a 10-point lead in third quarter. And you know that they're going to make a run sometime, and they ended up catching us in the fourth quarter. And they made a bucket, 10 seconds to go, something like that, to tie it. We ended up going overtime. They scored the first bucket in overtime, and then went 0 for 8 from the field for the last 4+ minutes. And we got the lead and took care of the ball and made our free throws and finished the game really well. And then Saturday at Wayne, we did not play very well the first half, especially second quarter. We were tied 19-all at the end of the first quarter, but defensively we were not dictating things. We were flat energy-wise. And then the second quarter we had a poor shooting quarter. We're down 10 at halftime. Third quarter we come right out. I think we scored the first 4 or 6 points and cut the lead back into a more manageable situation. The rest of the third quarter was pretty much a wash, and teams traded buckets. Fourth quarter, we started playing with a lot more energy and effort on defensive end, created some turnovers and easier scoring opportunities, and then we started to hit the three. I think we hit 6 threes in the fourth quarter, and basically we stole that game from them. We got the lead probably for the first time about the 2-minute mark. They tied it, and then we got up 1, and with about 35 seconds to go, Caitlin Riley hit a one-legged runner in the middle of the lane where you're going, no, yay, and then we had a 3-point cushion to work with and really beat it up well and made our free throws to finish that game.
So you mentioned maybe being flat a little bit against Wayne State. How much of that has to do with having to go into overtime against Augustana and then a road trip after that?
Well, it's really our first road trip this year where you had to get on the bus after you played Friday night, get into Wayne about midnight, quick turnaround the next morning, like at 9 o'clock. I think it was more emotional and mental fatigue than it was physical. But we played, Saturday, we played some people a lot more minutes Saturday that didn't play as much on Friday. And so they had fresh legs and more energy, and we took advantage of that as the game went along in the second half. But, with a young team and a new team and a first trip like that, it is challenging. And plus, last week and this week with classes ending and finals coming up and papers to do, it's really challenging for them with a lot on their plate to be focused. And I was really impressed with how focused we were defensively against Augie. And then Saturday was almost the complete opposite. But a few things that I like early in the season that I'm seeing from our group right now is I like our grit. I like how we keep playing, and how much belief and faith that they have in each other till the very end. 4 of the last 5 games we've been down in the second half and made plays late in the game. We've shown that we know how to finish. A year ago I think we had 14 games a year ago decided by 7 points or less, and we won 8 of them. Well, right now we've won 5 like that, 5 for 5. So I'm hoping that has a lot to do with experience from our returners, and also learning how to win and being confident and comfortable in pressure situations. We've got a lot of different players that have stepped up and made plays at crunch time.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about that because last week you were on the show and you said that you're really excited about the roster that you have this year. And it seems to kind of be a pattern with you that, and I know that you go out and get players because you want them and you think that they can contribute right away, but the freshmen on your team tend to do that, contribute right away. And are you at all surprised with the contributions you're getting from your freshmen this year?
No, I'm really not surprised. We were really excited about this freshman class coming in a year ago, and we told our returners, you're going to like what's coming in, even though they're young, they're better than most freshmen are. And they know and understand that we are relying on them a lot. Most people coming off our bench are young. We only scored 2 points off the bench in the first half against Wayne. We scored 33 in the second half. So it is so nice and such a luxury and blessing to have people coming off the bench that can either be a lockdown defender, a tenacious rebounder, or somebody that can make shots. And we've got a lot of people that can do that, and it's up to us as coaches to get those people in the right situations where it calls upon them to do the things that they're most confident at.
All right, about last minute or so in the segment, you're back home for the first time in I think a month, playing against Minnesota State and Concordia. What's on tap for this weekend?
They're both very good teams. Mankato was picked way above us in the preseason poll, as would be expected with, they have basically their entire team back from last year. They've lost a couple close games. They lost Sioux Falls by 5, so did Concordia. Very physical team. Very balanced, very deep, have a lot of scorers, and can play an up-tempo game, put a lot of pressure on you. Concordia, not so much a full-court pressure defensive type of team, but a well-balanced team. They've got some talented juniors. They got 2 D1 transfers that are playing their second year now with them. They've got some good freshmen coming off the bench. So they're both going to be big challenges for us. Every game is going to be hard and probably close, and that's why I'm pleased with some things that I'm seeing right now, confidence and comfort-wise with these close games that we've had.
All right, very good. We're going to take a break here on Warriors Fast Break. We'll get the player perspective next as Emily Keek joins us right after this.
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
Getting the right look at the right price
Perfect.
is always in style at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we should have a dance-off. Well, let's try that again.
Nailed it.
Bitch and Rides, new episode Wednesday at 9 on Motor Trend. Or start your free trial of the Motor Trend app to stream every episode commercial-free.
And welcome back to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. Emily Keek joins us. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
We might kind of jump around a little bit in this interview because I want to make sure that I get a couple of things in. And the first thing is your best game so far this season was against Maryville, and that was in the Subway Classic in Quincy. 21 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, a block and a steal, and 7 of 9 from the free throw line. That's an impressive line score. Tell me about that game, and what was it about that game?
Oh, it was a little bit ago. But I'd say Maryville was one of the best guard teams that we played so far this beginning of the year. And Coach Ballard told us that he's going to be seeing the best point guard all year. And I just took it to him, I guess, in the fourth quarter especially.
I was going to say, she didn't do that the first half. She waited till the second half.
No, I waited till the second half, unfortunately. The first half, I think I maybe had 3 assists, and that was about all I contributed. A little bit of defense, of course, but fourth quarter really took it to the hoop because their transition defense wasn't as good, and Coach Wirtz was like, you need to just take it to the hoop. So I did that, and then I dished out to my teammates, and they fortunately hit the shots, which was really great. And then we finished it out in overtime. So.
All right. This is kind of year 2 for you as point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how things are going this year compared to last year, kind of maybe learning the position on the fly in college.
I think my jump from last year has been a lot better with decision making. I would say I'm trying to keep my turnovers down as much as possible. Fortunately, Augie, I think I had 5 turnovers, so that was a little disappointing. But I think one of my personal goals is to lead the NSIC in the assist to turnover ratio. So have a long ways to go for that yet, but that's one of my.
She's got a good start.
Good start.
She's got a good start.
I gotta have
her decision making and ability to finish on drives has improved a lot since last year.
Well, that was one of the things that you kind of said off camera, and there's a good chemistry here between you two, and a lot of trust that I sense.
A lot of trust.
and just from you being able to say that how she's improved
Yeah.
since freshman year, since last year,
Yeah.
and now into this year, what have you seen different from her on the court this year than in previous years?
Well, like I mentioned, her decision making, she's more under control, she's more patient, she's finishing better, both sides of the rim. She probably hasn't shot the ball as well from three-point land right now as what we know that she can, but she will. It's just a matter of getting some confidence and more opportunity. But she's doing a better job of setting people up and knowing where the shooters are at, so that, you know, I can tell there's a lot of growth taking place over the last year in terms of understanding the game and playing with a basketball IQ.
All right, so what did you do this off-season then to kind of improve your game and get better this year?
It wasn't so much on the court, I would say. Well, of course, finishing was one of my biggest. I wanted to get a lot better at that this summer. But I'd say watching film and just really analyzing the game more than actually playing it, because sometimes seeing it is better than actually doing it. So.
All right, this weekend, obviously a big weekend, just like they all are kind of in the NSIC, but Minnesota State and Concordia, what do you have to do, what does the team have to do to get some wins this weekend?
Like Coach was saying earlier, like we came out flat on Saturday, so I think for both games that should be one of our, like we have to come out with energy, like there's no other option. I think that will help us decide, like in the first 5 minutes of the game, like who's actually going to take control. So we have to come out with energy. And then for both games, I would say they're both kind of crazy defensive teams, so we just have to take care of the ball and be smart with our decisions.
All right, and I kind of tend to ask this a lot, but in these games where it's been a gap since you've been at home, does it make a difference now that you're playing some home games this weekend instead of getting on a bus and traveling?
A little bit, because the turnaround's a little bit nicer. You don't have to get on a bus as soon as you're done playing. You get to sleep in your own bed, and then you get your own food too. So not eating out for every single trip, every single meal. So.
Very good. Well, thank you guys for being here, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for watching Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. We'll see you next week.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. Getting the right look at the right price.
Perfect.
Is always in style. At Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-60.
Because of you, Daddy is dead.
Tuesdays.
Heard you were here.
The hit series returns.
I don't want to impose at a time like this. You are family. Oh, I love me some you.
I'm all too familiar with how the Carlyles conduct business.
Stephanie is never gonna back down.
You followed me?
What the hell are you doing? Help me!
This marriage is over.
Stephanie.
Ambitions. Tuesdays, 10/9 Central.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we should have a dance-off. Well, let's try that again.
Nailed it.
Bitch and Rides, new episode Wednesday at 9 on Motor Trend. Or start your free trial of the Motor Trend app to stream every episode commercial-free.
Describe the best thing you ever ate.
It's good.
Woo! Dynamite. Yes. Hashtag worth it.
Ridiculous. OMG, OMG.
Whoa, wham. What? That's what I'm talking about. Wait. Boom.
All new. The best thing I ever ate. Monday at 9.
You're gonna need sweatpants.
Cooking Channel. Stay hungry.